Welcome to Apaga University. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie. We are two
momtrepreneurs
who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love.
16 years later and over 100 podcast episodes already under our belts, we invite you to continue on this journey with us as we share stories that resonate, insights that inspire, and practical guidance that empowers you to face any obstacle along this path.
Whether you're a professional caregiver, a family member, or are simply curious about what your steps will be when you need them, you have come to the right place.
Oh, hey, and while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And after that, make sure you send this to a friend.
Yes, do it. All right, we'll quit fooling around and get to it.
Let's go. Class is in session.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie. How are you?
I am here.
Did you recover yet?
I have not.
Me either. I partied all weekend and then partied midweek, and now I'm tired.
There's who does a big event on a Wednesday?
Pink, man, and dang, did she do the thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. It's been Thursday and Friday have been really rough.
Yes, indeedy.
Poor babies.
I was at Brandon Lake concert over the weekend, which was Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham. Unbelievable. So good. And then Wednesday we went to Pink and actually Sheryl Crow in the script, which two of the kids that were with us did not know that the script was going to be opening. Actually, I didn't know either. And so they were super excited.
I never heard of her.
Well, I don't know. Did you get in time to listen to any of it, or were you still parking?
Oh, parking was the worst. I've got a Farby do.
Don't we all? Oy vey. Anyway, so listeners, we are going to struggle through this. But Julie did bring us some jokes. I don't know how many of them are dirty. We're going to be reading them at the same. You're going to hear them at the same time we hear them, and so we're just going to apologize in advance if any of it's a little off color.
Yeah, tis life.
Such is life, man.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are going to start with our verse today, and it is Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit makes one sick.
So what we're doing today is we're just giving out some belly laughs.
Man. Lighten up.
Lighten it up. Life's hard.
It is hard enough.
No heavy topics today.
Oh, boy. All right. You want to talk about a senior's lament?
No, I want to give my good news story.
Oh, good point. How about you do that? Good Lord. It's going to be rough, guys.
So I don't know if this is a thing or if it's this person's dream, but now that I'm rereading the lines, it says it's a dream.
Oh.
But yet it's a great dream. It's huge. So have you ever seen that movie Monsters, Inc.?
Yes.
Okay. And what their job is they scare the little kids and they get all the energy out of the scare, the scream, and they bottle it, and that's what fuels their city.
Right.
Well, this kid that was watching that was like, dude, why not? So he's been working on a project where they go to like sports stadiums and they're trying to figure out how to bottle that energy.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things that they did, it says, have you ever been to a sports stadium where the crowd is so loud it shakes the concrete skeleton of the stands? What if you could harness the passion and energy into power? So anyway, it's called a physioelectric effect. And I would like both of you to say, wow. That was a big word and you didn't screw it up.
Good job. Wow.
Thank you. Anyway, which allows certain mechanisms to generate electricity in response to applied pressure. The principle has been applied before to make electricity generating roads, and was recently utilized to design an internal cochlear implant. But anyway, the one that they did, like their prototype, is actually powers 150 small homes.
Oh, wow.
So it's coming.
So wait a minute. Is this a dream or not a dream?
I think her big dream of the stadiums is going to be like the movie.
And not like a dream like someone was asleep and they dreamt this. It's like a dream, like I have an aspiration, I have a dream. Okay.
I have a dream.
Got it.
I'm going to take all of this excitement and bottle it.
Oh, wow.
So wouldn't that be cool?
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of energy bottled on Wednesday.
A lot of events would cause a lot of electric.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Isn't it?
It's interesting because I don't understand those type of concepts. Like I can't think of
I,
things like that.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I would never have thought of that.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how things work. I just know that they do work, and I appreciate that.
And
I'm
we
super grateful
appreciate
for
you
it,
very much.
but
Those
I don't
of
know
you
how
that
they
have
work.
that inquisitive mind.
Yes, yes. Well, mine actually, you actually sent it to me on a
Yes.
TikTok, and I thought, wow, this would be super fun to actually play for a good news story.
Mhm.
It's actually Russell Brand, and he's an actor,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna play it.
So the interesting thing about Russell Brand
Mhm.
is just recently he has actually become a Christian, and it has changed his life.
I know.
And I love following him on his social medias because he's like reading from the Bible, and it's like he has an epiphany every day.
Yeah.
And he's so excited about it that somebody, I don't appreciate entertainers that think they need to get into politics or
Right.
tell us how to live our lives.
Right.
But this dude is so excited. It's like his passion is for positivity. And so that's why I sent it to you.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's so applicable. We should all do what he says. So,
Yeah.
here we go.
This verse is famously used at weddings, but someone told me that a good way to use this verse is to substitute the famous love is patient, love is kind with your own name to see if you are up to scratch when it comes to these qualities. So instead of saying, as Corinthians 13 verse 4 does, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. Russell is patient, Russell is kind, Russell does not envy, Russell does not boast, Russell is not proud, Russell does not dishonor others, Russell is not self-seeking, Russell is not easily angered, Russell keeps no record of wrongs, Russell does not delight in evil but rejoices in truth, Russell always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Russell has got a lot of work to do. It helps me to recognize that love is something I can be a vessel for, and even when I'm dealing with air here, I could be choosing to ensure that my conduct is always up to the standard. We live in this time of bewilderment. Think how many times you hear people say kids don't come with a guidebook. There's no manual for living life. There is. This is it. I don't know why I assumed I knew what was in this book without looking at it. I should ensure in my conduct that I'm being patient and honest and loving and useful and sweet and not easily angered, man. I think of how easily it is to be on eggshells around my children. There's so much improvement that can be made. How lucky we are to have the opportunity to change.
That's amazing. And yes, I agree with you. His newfound, it's crazy. It's awesome. He's
Yeah.
so excited and so positive and upbeat. And
Yes.
it's like, why did I think there wasn't a manual? There's a manual. It's right here.
It's
the
always
Holy
been
Bible.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yes.
thank you for sharing that with me so that I could share it with everyone else.
Yay.
All right, I'll start because I know where we are.
Okay, so what we're doing today is because it's kind of one of those days that we're just getting through, but I thought we should add a little bit of humor to the old podcast ruse because sometimes we get a little heavy. And so I just went through and found some funnies.
Yeah.
I tried to take out the ones that were the naughtiest. There may have been one or two that might have slipped through. We'll see. Because like Inga said, we're hearing them the same time you're hearing them.
This first one says, Seniors Lament. A few days ago, I was tooling along through a neighborhood on my wheelchair when I noticed a young boy sitting on the retaining wall in front of his house, crying as if his heart was breaking. I pulled alongside the youngster and asked, Son, what's the matter? Why are you crying so? I'm crying because I can't do what my 20-year-old brother does, he said. So I sat there and cried with him. That's funny.
The rooster contest. A farmer goes out one day and buys a brand new stud rooster to copulate with his chickens. The farmer puts the rooster straight in the pen so he can get down to business. The young rooster walks over to the old rooster and says, Okay, old fella, time to retire. The old rooster says, You can't handle all these chickens. Look at what it did to me. The young rooster replies, Now don't give me a hassle about this. Time for the old to step aside and let the young to take over. So take a hike. The old rooster says, Come on. Just let me have the old two hens over in the corner. I won't bother you. The young rooster says, Scram, beat it. You're washed up. I'm taking over. So the old rooster thinks for a minute and then says to the young rooster, I'll tell you what, young fellow, I'll have a race with you around the farmhouse. Whoever wins the race gets the domain of the chicken coop. And if I'm so feeble, why not give me a little head start? The young rooster says, Sure, why not? You know I'll still beat you. They line up at the back of the farmhouse, get the chicken to go to cluck go, and the old rooster takes off running. About 15 seconds later, the young rooster takes off after him. They round the front of the farmhouse, and the young rooster is only about 5 inches behind the old rooster and gaining fast. The farmer sitting on the porch sees what's going on, grabs his shotgun, and boom, he shoots the young rooster dead. He shakes his head gloomily and says to his wife, "Son of a bitch, third gay rooster I bought this week."
Oh no.
Oh, this is going south fast. I didn't know that's where that was going.
All right, well, we'll see what's next. This one is called Arrested Development. An elderly couple was driving across the country. While the woman was behind the wheel, the couple was pulled over by the highway patrol. "Ma'am, did you know you were speeding?" the officer said. The woman, hard of hearing, turned to her husband and asked, "What did he say?" "He said you were speeding," the old man yelled. The patrolman then asked, "May I see your license?" The woman turned to her husband again. "What did he say?" The old man yelled back, "He wants to see your license." The woman then gave the officer her license. "I see you are from Arkansas," the patrolman said. "I spent some time there once and went on a blind date with the ugliest woman I've ever seen." The woman turned to her husband again and asked, "What did he say?" The old man replied, "He said he knows you." Oh my God. Boy.
Oh boy. Okay, the frog, the kiss, and the surprise. So the senior citizen was walking across a damp meadow when he heard a female voice said, "Sir, I would like to ask a great favor of you." He looked around and saw only a frog sitting on a grass pod. "I must be going nuts," he thought. "There's no one here." The voice then said, "Please, sir, please help me." Again, all he saw was a frog, which was looking straight at him. "Who said that?" he said rather loudly. "I did, sir. I'm the frog. I was a beautiful 19-year-old princess, but a witch put a spell on me. Please help me." The old man picked up the frog and held it in his hand. "How can I help you?" he asked. "The only thing that would break the spell is to have a man kiss me on the mouth. Please do it for me, and then I will turn into a beautiful, sexy princess, and I will really make you feel young again." The man closed his hand about the frog and stuffed it in his pocket. "At my age," he said, "I'd rather have a talking frog."
That's funny. Okay, this one is a bunch of Z's.
Uh-oh.
An elderly woman went into the doctor's office. When the doctor asked why she was there, she replied, "I'd like to have some birth control pills." Taken back, the doctor thought for a minute and then said, "Excuse me, Mrs. Smith, but you're 72 years old. What possible use could you have for birth control pills?" The woman responded, "To help me sleep better." The doctor thought some more and continued, "How in the world do birth control pills help you sleep better?" The woman said, "Simple. I put them in my granddaughter's orange juice every morning and I sleep better at night."
Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Romance senior style. An older couple were laying in bed one night. The husband was falling asleep, but the wife was in a romantic mood and wanted to talk. She said, "You used to hold my hand when we were courting." Wearily, he reached across, held her hand for a second, and tried to get back to sleep. A few minutes later, she said, "Then you used to kiss me." Mildly irritated, he reached across, gave her a peck on the cheek, and settled down to sleep. 30 seconds later, she said, "Then you used to bite my neck." Angrily, he threw back the bedclothes and got out of bed. "Where are you going?" she asked. "To get my teeth."
Oh, this is great. I'm just side-eye watching Alyssa. Okay, so this one's called The Vet. Every Sunday, a little old lady placed $1,000 in the collection plate. It went on for weeks until the priest, overcome with curiosity, approached her. "My dear, I couldn't help but notice that you put $1,000 a week in the collection plate," he said. "Why, yes," she replied. "Every week my son sends me money, and what I don't need, I give to the church." "That's wonderful. How much does he send you?" the priest asked. "He sends me $2,000 a week," she replied proudly. "Your son is very successful," said the priest. "What does he do for a living?" "He is a veterinarian," she answered. "That's a very honorable profession," the priest assured her. "Where does he practice?" "Well," she replied, "he has one cat house in Kansas City and another in New Orleans."
Just so you know, when I was looking these up, it was senior citizen jokes. So I thought, oh, this can be just
This will
fine.
certainly be clean, family friendly.
Oh, and this one's called What Was That Again? Two elderly ladies had been friends for many decades. Over the years, they had shared all kinds of activities and adventures. Lately, their activities have been limited to meeting a few times a week to play cards. One day, they were playing cards when one looked at the other and said, "Now, don't get mad at me. I know we've been friends for a long time, but I just can't think of your name. I've thought and thought, and I can't remember it. Please tell me what your name is." Her friend glared at her for at least 3 minutes. She just stared and glared at her. Finally, she said, "How soon do you need to know?"
That's going to be you and me. Might already be somewhat. Raising the dead. Grandma and Grandpa were watching a healing service on the television. The evangelist called to all who wanted to be healed to go to their television set, place one hand on the TV and the other hand on the body part where they wanted to be healed. Oh no. Have you read further than me?
I have not.
Grandma got up and slowly hobbled to the television set, placed her right hand on the set and her left hand on her arthritic shoulder that was causing her to have great pain. Then Grandpa got up, went to the TV, placed his right hand on the set, and then his left hand on his crotch. Uh-oh. Grandma scowled at him and said, "I guess you just don't get it. The purpose of doing this was to heal the sick, not to raise the dead." Oh, no.
Well, you know, I got to be honest. The goal today was not to have a heavy topic.
We're winning.
Oh, no. Here's one. Senior marriage.
Oh, boy.
There were two elderly people living in a Florida mobile home park. He was a widower and she was a widow. They had known each other for a number of years. One evening, there was a community supper at the big activity center. The two were at the same table across from each other. As the meal went on, he made a few admiring glances her way and finally gathered his courage to ask her, "Will you marry me?" After about 6 seconds of careful consideration, she said, yes, I will. The meal ended, and with a few more pleasant exchanges, they went to their respective places. The next morning, he was troubled. Did she say yes or did she say no? He couldn't remember. Try as he would, he could not recall, not even a faint memory. With trepidation, he went to the telephone and called her. First, he explained that he didn't remember as well as he used to. Then he reviewed the lovely evening past. As he gained a little more courage, he inquired, "When I asked if you would marry me, did you say yes or did you say no?" He was delighted to hear her say, "Why, I said, yes, I will. And I meant it all with my heart." Then she continued, "I'm so glad that you called because I couldn't remember who it was that asked me."
That's awesome. Okay, what heaven's like.
Oh, boy.
3 guys die together and go to heaven. St. Peter says we only have one rule here. Don't step on the ducks as they are God's favorite creation. They enter heaven and see ducks everywhere, and it's almost impossible not to step on a duck. The first guy accidentally steps on one, and soon here comes St. Peter with the ugliest woman you've ever seen. St. Peter chains them together and says, "Your punishment is to be chained to this ugly woman forever." The next day, the second guy steps on a duck, and sure enough, St. Peter comes with another really ugly woman and chains them together. Seeing this, the third guy is very, very careful. He goes for months and doesn't step on any ducks. Then one day, St. Peter comes along with this beautiful woman, a blue-eyed blonde, very young and very sexy. He chains them together and leaves without saying a word. The man remarks, "Wow, this is great. I wonder what I did to deserve this." The blonde says, "I don't know about you, but I just stepped on a duck."
Oh, no. Okay, memories. An elderly couple had dinner at another couple's house, and after eating, the wives left the table and went into the kitchen. The two elderly gentlemen were talking, and one said, "Last night we went to a new restaurant, and it was really great. I would recommend it very highly." The other man said, "What was the name of the restaurant?" The first man thought and finally said, "What is the name of that flower you give to someone you love? You know, the one that's red and has thorns? Do you mean a rose?" "Yes," the man said. He turned to the kitchen and yelled, "Rose, what's the name of that restaurant we went to last night?"
These are great. This is memories too.
Uh-oh.
At the beginning of my shift, I placed a stethoscope on an elderly and slightly deaf female patient's anterior chest wall. "Big breaths," I instructed. "They used to be," she remorsed.
Oh, boy. Oh, this one's... Okay. The joy of sharing. The old couple walked slowly into McDonald's that cold winter evening. They looked out of place amid the young families and the young couples eating there that night. Some of the customers looked admiringly at them. You could tell that what the admirers were thinking. Look, there's a couple that has been through a lot together, probably for 60 years or more. The old man walked right up to the cash register, placed his order with no hesitation, and paid for the bill. The couple took a table near the back wall and started taking food off of the tray. There was one burger, one order of french fries, and one drink. The little old man unwrapped the plain hamburger and carefully cut it into half. He placed one half in front of his wife. Then he carefully counted out the french fries, dividing them into 2 piles, and neatly placed one pile in front of his wife. He took a sip of the drink, and then his wife took a sip, and then set the cup down between them. As the man began to eat his few bites of burger, the crowd began to get restless. Again, you could tell what they were thinking. That poor old couple, all they could afford is one meal for the 2 of them. As the man began to eat his french fries, one young man came over to the old couple's table. He politely offered to buy another meal for the old couple to eat. The old man replied they were just fine. They were used to sharing everything. Then the crowd noticed that the little old lady hadn't eaten a bite. She just sat there watching her husband eat and occasionally taking turns sipping the drink. Again, the young man came over and begged them to let him buy them something to eat. This time, the lady explained that no, they were used to sharing everything together. As the little old man finished eating and was wiping his face neatly with his napkin, the young man couldn't stand it any longer. Again, he came over to the table and offered to buy some food. After being politely refused again, he finally asked a question to the old lady. "Ma'am, why aren't you eating? You said you share everything. What is it that you are waiting for?" She answered, "The teeth."
Oh, no. Okay, signs of menopause. Number 1, you sell your home heating system at a yard sale. Number 2, your husband jokes that instead of buying a wood stove, he is using you to heat the family room this winter. Rather than just saying that you're not amused, you shoot him. Number 3, you have to write Post-it notes with your kids' names on them. You change your underwear after every sneeze. And you're on so much estrogen that you take your brownie troop on a field trip to Chippendales. Oh, no. One day, a little girl was sitting and watching her mother do the dishes at the kitchen sink. She suddenly noticed that her mother had several strands of white hair sticking out in contrast to her brunette hair. She looked at her mother and inquisitively asked, "Why are some of your hairs white, Mom?" The mother yelled, "Well, every time that you do something wrong and make me cry or unhappy, one of my hairs turns white." The little girl thought about this revelation for a while and then said, "Mama, how come all of Grandma's hairs are white?"
Oh, burn. Oh, I'm not old, just mature. Today at the drugstore, the clerk was a gent. From my purchase, this chap took off 10%. I asked for the cause of a lesser amount, and he answered because of the senior's discount. I went to McDonald's for a burger and fries, and there once again got quite a surprise. The clerk poured some coffee, which he handed to me. He said, "For you seniors, the coffee is free. Understand, I'm not old, I'm merely mature, but some things are changing temporarily, I'm sure. The newspaper print gets smaller each day, and people speak softer, can't hear what they say. My teeth are my own, I have the receipt, and my glasses identify people I meet. Oh, I've slowed down a bit, not a lot, I'm sure. You see, I'm not old, I'm only mature. The gold in my hair has been bleached by the sun. You can see all the damage that chlorine has done. Washing my hair has turned it all white, but don't call it gray. Saying blonde is just right. My car is all paid for, not a nickel is owed. Yet a kid yells, 'Old duffer, get off of the road.' My car has no scratches, not even a dent. Still, I get all the guff from a punk who's hell-bent. My friends all get older much faster than me. They seem much more wrinkled from what I can see. I've gotten character lines, not wrinkles for sure. But don't call me old, just call me mature. The steps in the house they're building today are so high that they take your breath all away. And the streets are much steeper than 10 years ago. That would explain why walking is slow. But I'm keeping up on what's hip and what's new, and I think I can still dance a mean boogaloo. I'm still in the running. In this, I'm secure. I'm not really old. I'm only mature."
That's really good. I like that a lot. All right, so this one is called Healthy Food. This 85-year-old couple, having been married almost 60 years, died in a car crash. They had been in good health the last 10 years, mainly due to the wife's neurotic interest in health food. When they reached the pearly gates, St. Peter took them to their mansion, which was decked out with a beautiful kitchen and master bath, suite, and jacuzzi. As they oohed and awed, the old man asked Peter how much of this was going to cost. "It's free," Peter replied. "Remember, this is heaven." Next, they went out back to see the championship golf course the home backed up to. They would have golfing privileges every day, and each week the course changed to a new one representing the great golf courses on the earth. The old man asked, "What are the green fees?" "This is heaven," St. Peter replied. "You play for free." Next, they went to the clubhouse and saw the lavish buffet lunch with the cuisines of the world laid out. "How much to eat?" asked the old man. "Don't you understand yet?" St. Peter asked. "This is heaven. It's free." "Well, where are the low fat and low cholesterol foods?" the old man asked timidly. "That's the best part. You can eat as much as you like of whatever you like, and you never get fat and you never get sick. This is heaven." The old man looked at his wife and said, "You and your darn bran muffins, I could have been here 10 years ago." This is sort of a digress type situation, but it is interesting, and I contemplate this a lot, like how hard we're all trying to stay healthy and all these things, but I'm like, isn't the ultimate goal to be in God's kingdom?
Yeah.
So you might as well live, right?
Oh, man. Yep. Make your time on earth good.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a letter to the grandson. "Dear grandson, I have become a little older since I saw you last, and a few changes have come into my life since then. Frankly, I have become a frivolous old gal. I am seeing 5 gentlemen every day. As soon as I wake up, willpower helps to get me out of bed. Then I go see John. Then Charlie Horse comes along, and when he's there, he takes a lot of my time and attention. But when he leaves, arthritis shows up and stays the rest of the day. He doesn't like to stay in one place very long, so he takes me from joint to joint. After such a busy day, I'm really tired and glad to go to bed with Ben Gay." What a life. "Oh, yes, I'm also flirting with Alzheimer. Love, Grandma. P.S. The preacher came to call the other day. He said at my age, I should be thinking of the hereafter. I told him, oh, I do all the time, no matter where I live, in the parlor, upstairs, in the kitchen, or down in the basement. I ask myself, now what am I hereafter?"
Same. The foursome. 4 men were out golfing. "These hills are getting steeper as the years go by," one complained. "These fairways seem to be getting longer, too," said one of the others. "The sand traps seem to be bigger than I remember them, too," said the third senior. After hearing enough from his senior buddies, the oldest and the wisest of the 4 of them, at 87 years old, piped up and said, "Just be thankful we're still on the right side of the grass."
Yes. The checkup. An elderly woman accompanied her even more elderly husband to the doctor's office. After his checkup, the doctor called the wife into his office alone. He said, "Your husband is suffering from a very severe disease combined with horrible stress. If you don't do the following, your husband will surely die. Each morning, fix him a healthy breakfast, be pleasant, make sure he is in a good mood. For lunch, make him a nutritious meal he can't take to work, and for dinner, he can take to work. And for dinner, prepare an especially nice meal for him. Don't burden him with chores, as this could stress him further. Don't discuss your problems with him, as only make his stress worse. Try to relax your husband in the evening by wearing lingerie and giving him plenty of back rubs. Encourage him to watch some type of team sporting event on television. If you can do this for the next 10 months to a year, I think your husband will regain his health completely." On the way home, the husband asked his wife, "What did the doctor say?" "You're going to die."
That's pretty funny.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I cannot attest to any of these things, but these are allegedly the joys of being male.
Uh-oh.
Your last name stays put. The garage is all yours. Wedding plans take care of themselves. Chocolate is just another snack. You can wear a white shirt to a water theme park. Car mechanics tell you the truth. You don't care if someone doesn't notice your new haircut. The world is your urinal. Hot wax never comes near your public area. No, I'm just kidding. Your pubic area. You never have to drive to another gas station because this one's just too icky. Same work, more pay. Wrinkles add character. You don't have to leave the room to make, oh my gosh, emergency crotch adjustments. Wedding dress $2,000, tux rental $100. If you retain water, it's in a canteen. People never glance at your chest when you're talking to them. The occasional well-rendered belch is practically expected. New shoes don't cut, blister, or mangle your feet. Your pals can be trusted never to trap you with, "So, notice anything different?" And finally, one mood all the time.
Oh, no. Oh, a group of Sun City senior citizens were sitting around talking about their ailments. My arms are so weak I can barely hold up a cup of coffee, said one. Yes, I know. My cataracts are so bad I can't even see my coffee, replied another. I can't turn my head because of the arthritis in my neck, said the third, to which several nodded in agreement. My blood pressure pills make me dizzy, another went on. I guess that's the price we're paid for getting old, winced an old man as he shook his head. Then there was a short moment of silence. Well, it's not that bad, said one woman cheerfully. Thank God we can all still drive.
Yikes.
Oh, that's the worst.
Can't see it all, but no. Oh, this is going to be actually kind of fun because this is a do you remember, but
I'm gonna
I think I'm going to remember a lot of these.
Yeah.
Candy cigarettes. Yes. Wax Coke shaped bottles with colored sugar water inside. Yes. Soda pop machines that dispensed bottles.
Yes.
No. Coffee shops with tableside jukeboxes. Yes, like diners. Blackjack chewing gum. Yes. Home milk delivery in glass bottles with cardboard stoppers.
No, not where we lived.
Party lines. Yes. Newsreels before the movie. Nope. PF flyers.
I don't know what that is.
Bushwhacks. Nope. Telephone numbers with a word prefix like Drexel 5505. Pea shooters.
Nope.
Howdy Doody.
I've seen him.
Yep. 78 RPM records.
Yes.
S&H green stamps.
Oh my gosh, those were my favorite.
Hi-Fis. Nope. Metal ice cube trays with levers.
Yes.
Yep. Mimeograph paper.
Mimeograph paper.
Mimeograph paper. Okay. Nope. Blue flash bulbs.
Yes.
Beanie and Cecil.
No.
Roller skate keys.
No.
Cork pop guns. Yes. Drive-ins. Yes. Studebakers.
Yes.
Nope. Wash tub ringers. Seen them.
Seen them and never used them.
Yep. Now add up your score. Basically, if you remembered 16 to 25, which I think we did, we're older than dirt.
Oh, grand. Oh, no. There are 25-ish reasons you know that you have grown up. Your potted plants stay alive.
Oh, no, I'm
we
not
should
there
do
yet.
a counter on this one.
Yeah. Okay, no.
Yeah. You keep more food than beer in the fridge.
Yes.
Your 6 a.m. is when you get up, not when you go to sleep.
Yes.
You hear your favorite song on the elevator.
No.
Have you ever... How many times do you go to the grocery store now and you hear good songs?
Do they play them at the grocery store?
Yes.
Oh boy, I got to start listening.
It's really bad.
Oof.
Okay, you carry an umbrella, you watch the Weather Channel.
Well, I did go buy emergency ponchos for our outdoor concert, so that probably counts as a yes.
Your friends marry and divorce instead of hook up and break up.
Oh gosh.
You go from 130 days vacation time to 7. Jeans and sweater no longer qualify as dressed up. Oh. You're the one calling the police because those darn kids next door don't know how to turn down the stereo. Older relatives feel comfortable telling sex jokes around you.
Nope.
Oh. My dad popped off with a couple one time. I couldn't believe it.
Oh.
You don't know what time Taco Bell closes anymore. Your car insurance goes down and your car payments go up. You feed your dog science diet instead of McDonald's. Sleeping on the couch makes your back hurt.
Yes.
You no longer take naps from noon to 6 or caffeine. Dinner and a movie the whole date. Instead of the beginning of one, you go to the drugstore for ibuprofen and antacids, not condoms and pregnancy test kits.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the intellects. 2 retired professors were vacationing with their wives at a hotel in Catskills. They were sitting on the veranda one summer evening watching the sunset. The history professor asked the psychology professor, "Have you read Marx?" To which the professor of psychology replied, "Yes, and I think it's these pesky wicker chairs." I don't get it.
Red marks like on your ass.
That's funny.
Oh, a few of my favorite things. Oh, should I sing this? You just can't help it. Maylocks and nose strips and needles for knitting, walkers and handrails and new dental fittings, bundles of magazines tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things.
Man, you missed your calling.
Yeah, and from there on, I'm going to read it. I don't know if I can just read it normal. Cadillacs, cataracts, hearing aids, glasses, Polident, Fixident, false teeth in glasses, pacemakers, golf carts, and porches with swings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the pipes leak, when the bones creak, when the knees go bad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Anyway, you gonna read the next one?
I'm not singing it, but I can read it.
Do it.
Hot tea and crumpets and corn pads for bunions. No spicy hot food and no food with onions. Bathrobes and heat pads and hot meals they bring. These are a few of my favorite things. Back pains, confused brains, and no fear of sinning. Thin bones and fractures and hair that is thinning. As we won't mention our short shrunken frames when we remember our favorite things, when the joints ache, when the hips break. When the eyes grow dim, then I remember the great life I've had, and then I don't feel so bad.
You didn't want to sing that at all?
No. Well, I kind of did, but I was scared.
I simply couldn't read it without singing, so that's why I had to stop. I didn't want to.
It actually was probably harder to read it without singing it. Yeah,
I
to
think
get
so.
the like cadence.
I think so. Yeah.
Two elderly women meet at the laundrette after not seeing one another for some time. After inquiring about each other's health, one asked how the other's husband was doing. Oh, Ted died last week. He went out to the garden to dig up cabbage for dinner, had a heart attack, and dropped down dead right there in the middle of the vegetable patch. Oh dear, I'm so very sorry, replied her friend. What did you do? Opened a can of peas instead.
Oh, that could be me. Okay. As I age, when I was in my younger days, I weighed a few less pounds. I needn't hold my tummy in to wear a belted dress. And now that I am older, I've set my body free. There's a comfort of elastic where once my waist would be. The inventor of those high-heeled shoes my feet have not forgiven. Have to wear a 9 now, but used to wear a 7. But how about those pantyhose? They're sized by weight, you see. So how come when I put them on, the crotch is at my knees? I need to wear these glasses as the print are getting smaller, and it wasn't very long ago I knew that I was taller. Though my hair has turned to silver and my skin no longer fits, on the inside I'm the same old me, just the outside's changed a bit.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to go back to the time when decisions were made by going eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Mistakes were corrected by simply exclaiming do-over. Money issues were handled by whoever was the banker in Monopoly. Catching the fireflies could happily occupy an entire evening. It wasn't odd to have 2 or 3 best friends. Being old referred to anyone over 20. The net on the tennis court was the perfect height to play volleyball, and rules didn't matter. The worst thing that you could catch from the opposite sex was cooties. It was magic when Dad would remove his thumb. It was unbelievable that dodgeball wasn't an Olympic event. Having a weapon in school meant being caught with a slingshot. Nobody was prettier than Mom.
Oh.
Scrapes and bruises were kissed and made better. It was a big deal to finally be tall enough to ride the big people rides at the amusement park. A foot of snow was a dream come true. Abilities were discovered because of a double dog dare. Saturday morning cartoons weren't 30-minute ads for action figures. No shopping trip was complete unless a new toy was brought home. Ollie Ollie Oxen All in Free made perfect sense. Spinning around, getting dizzy, and falling down was cause for giggles. The worst embarrassment was being picked last for a team. War was a card game. Water balloons were the ultimate weapon. Baseball cards and the spokes transformed any bike into a motorcycle. Taking drugs meant orange-flavored chewable aspirin. Ice cream was considered a basic food group. Older siblings were the worst tormentors, but also the fiercest protectors. And if you can remember most or all of these, then you have certainly lived.
Oh, that's a cute one. Games for when you are older. Seg, you're it. Pin the toupee on the bald guy. 20 questions shouted into your good ear. Kick the bucket.
Oh, no.
Red Rover, the nurse says bend over.
Oh, no.
Doc, goose. Simon says something incoherent. Hide and go pee. Spin the bottle of Mylanta. And musical recliners.
Gosh. This is an update to Dr. Seuss.
Uh-oh.
I cannot see. I cannot pee. I cannot chew. I cannot screw. My memory shrinks. My hearing stinks. No sense of smell. I look like hell. My body's drooping. Have trouble pooping. How did it get so late so soon? It's night before it's afternoon. December is here before it's June. My goodness, how the time has flown. The golden years have come at last. The golden years can kiss my ass.
Oh, no. That is really actually incredibly funny. 70-year-old George went to his annual physical. All of his tests came back with normal results. Dr. Smith said, George, everything looks great physically. How are you doing mentally and emotionally? Are you at peace with yourself, and do you have a good relationship with God? George replied, God and me are tight. He knows I have poor eyesight, so he's fixed it so that when I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, poof, the light goes on and I'm done, poof, the light goes off. Wow, that's incredible. A little later in the day, Dr. Smith called George's wife, Ethel. He said, George is doing fine. Physically, he's great, but I'm calling because I'm in awe of his relationship with God. Is it true that he gets up during the night and poof, the light goes on in the bathroom, and then when he is through, poof, the light goes off? And Ethel exclaimed, oh my God, he's peeing in the refrigerator again.
Oh, no. Oh, poor Ethel.
Oh, Ethel.
Standards. Little old lady is sitting on a bench in Miami Beach. A man walks over and sits down on the other end of the bench. After a few moments, the woman asks, are you a stranger here? He replies, I used to live here years ago. So where were you all these years? In prison, he says. For what did they put you in prison? He looks at her and very quietly says, I killed my wife. Oh, says the woman. So you're single?
Oh, old is when your friends compliment you on your new alligator shoes and you're barefoot. Old is when a sexy babe catches your fancy and your pacemaker opens the garage door. Old is when going braless pulls all the wrinkles out of your face. Old is when you don't care where your spouse goes, just as long as you don't have to go along. Old is when you are cautioned to slow down by the doctor instead of by the police. Old is when getting a little action means I don't need to take any fiber today. Old is when getting lucky means you can find your car in the parking lot. And old is when an all-nighter means not getting up to pee. Kidding.
Oh, man. Okay. The perks of being over 50. Number one, kidnappers are not very interested in you. In a hostage situation, you are likely to be released first. No one expects you to run into a burning building. People call at 9 p.m. and ask, did I wake you? People no longer view you as a hypochondriac. There's nothing left to learn the hard way. Things that you buy now won't wear out. You can eat dinner at 4:00 p.m. You enjoy hearing about other people's operations. You get into a heated argument about pension claims. You have a party and the neighbors don't even realize it.
Oh, no.
You no longer think of speed limits as a challenge. You quit trying to hold your stomach in no matter who walks into the room. You sing along with the elevator music. Your eyes won't get much worse. Your investment in health insurance is finally beginning to pay off. Your joints are more accurate meteorologists than the National Weather Service. Your secrets are safe with your friends because they can't remember them either. Your supply of brain cells is finally down to a manageable size, and you can't remember who sent you this list.
Well,
good one, Jules.
Oh, man, that one it had a few zingers in there.
Yes. What'd you bring us for a windy outie?
Well, it was your mom's.
Yeah. So I don't know what it means.
So for crying in a bucket.
Yep.
And Jean said,
well, she always would say that. Oh, for crying in a bucket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you looked it up.
Yeah. And then I gave it to you.
Yeah. So now we're going to find out for crying in a bucket what it really means. It is an expression of frustration or surprise. Mom, why are you calling me this early at 6 a.m. for crying in a bucket? Oh, for crying in a bucket. Can't you just listen to what I have to say before you start arguing with me? For crying in a bucket. I just had the car fixed and now you put a dent in it. So also means for crying out loud, for crying drunk, shame, burst out crying. It's a crying shame, crying out for someone or for something. Right. To say crying.
Oh, for crying in a bucket.
For crying in a bucket.
It always seemed like I think it was like a disgust. Oh, for crying in a bucket.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, cool. So there you go.
Oh, boy.
Use it and send us your context of how you use it. You can email to Julie at Ipaga Home Care or Inga at IpagaHomeCare.com.
Oh.
And yes, send us your verses. Send us your good news stories, your grandma sayings.
New topics.
New topics, yep. And go like us, follow us on Facebook, sign up and subscribe. anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yep.
Or if you're brave, go to YouTube and you can actually witness all of this
Oh,
visually.
it's the worst.
You lucky dogs. Anyway, that's cool. Good one, Jules. Peace
Yep.
out, Girl Scouts.
Have a good day.
The Caregiven name is a registered trademark of the Veritrust Health Incorporated Company. IPAGA is not connected to, affiliated with, or endorsed by Veritrust or any of its affiliates.